Is it just me, or after 2019, it seems like the world has changed? From the lifestyle, music, just overall culture, the vibes were different. But even when it comes to our day-to-day lives, everything just feels a bit stale. Personally, I felt this way for the past 2 years, and I really wanted to figure out why. Is it my fault, or is this just a reality of life once we reach a certain age? So to explain why this is happening, we gotta take a look at how we grew up our whole entire lives. For the most part, it's gonna be through a schooling system. So we got preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, and some of us go off to college or university. So with that being said, I've realized that we always had something to look forward to. When I was in kindergarten, I remember looking at the second graders and third graders, thinking about how big they were, how tall they were, and I just wanted to grow up. I got there, and then I felt the same exact way for the next level. Even in high school, being a freshman, I thought the seniors were so cool. Something about them just seemed like I wanted to reach that level in my life. And so for the past 20 years, each year we had something that we knew we had to progress up to, and that we were so ready to get out of the phase we were in. But once we were in that phase, we kind of didn't even experience the moment. Now this gets even more extreme once we pass college, because after university, and some of you guys after high school, we actually have nothing to look forward to now. We're kind of just thrown out into this world. And because of that, we start to go through monotonous routines. You're not looking towards a progression. And our whole lives, we've been embedded and instilled within the system to tell us that, there's a level up to something. And so I think that's the biggest challenging thing, especially becoming an adult, is from the fact that you have to get used to the monotony of life. You have to get used to the idea of things staying the same for quite a long time, especially not in year-to-year changes or year-to-year progressions, depending on which career you're in. For example, if you're in a tech field or maybe even a healthcare field, maybe there's some advances or maybe you can switch up some things, but for the most part, your day-to-day life is gonna be the same. Now, not only that, but let's talk about friend groups. One thing about me is that I change schools almost every 2-3 years. I never had a consistent friend group for over 10 years, ever in my life. I've had long-term friends, but since I was put in so many different positions, for example, I lived in Alabama, then I moved to Georgia, and then I moved back to Florida. I was always moving. Throughout that time period, not only was I changing schools, and that was kind of keeping my mind fresh, and I was leveling up in terms of my grades and getting access to new levels, 9th to 10th grade to 11th grade, but also I was making new friends consistently. But once we get in our day-to-day lives, especially for those who work remotely, what happens? We're no longer engaging with people like we used to. We're no longer having new experiences and having new networks of friends to engage and communicate with. Maybe online, but from a person-to-person context, it's very, very rare. Now, after all of this, no wonder life starts to feel a bit boring. But here's the thing too, when life gets stagnant, it's often a sign that we're out of touch with ourselves. And that's where having somebody to talk to, like a therapist, can make all the difference. And that's why I'm proud to announce today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that's making it easier than ever to start reconnecting with yourself and shaking up your routine in a meaningful way. Therapy offers a safe place to talk about whatever is on your mind, whether it's stress, relationship challenges, or just overall feeling stuck. A trained therapist can help you see things from a new perspective, teach you tools to manage your emotions, and just overall guide you to personal growth. And no, you don't have to wait in awkward waiting rooms or even leave your home, because BetterHelp makes starting therapy incredibly simple. You'll just fill out a quick questionnaire, and within most cases, in a few days, you're matched with a licensed therapist who fits you and your needs. Plus, if the first therapist isn't a great fit, you can easily switch out to a new one. They even have tools like journaling features and also group sessions to help support you along the way. Also, you don't need a major mental health issue to benefit from therapy. It's a tool for anybody who wants to grow and just feel more fulfilled in life. And platforms like BetterHelp is making it more affordable and accessible than ever. So if you're feeling stuck and you think therapy can help, click the link down below in the description, or you can go to betterhelp.com/AustinDunham for 10% off your first month. It's time to prioritize your mental health and your emotional well-being. Shout out BetterHelp for sponsoring the video. Now, let's get back to it. So one thing I've gained a huge interest in over the past few years is definitely understanding the role of dopamine when it comes to our motivation, when it comes to our behavior, and just overall fulfillment in life. And I've come to find out that a lot of people are scrolling social media for hours a day. Think about it. You probably consume hundreds, if not thousands of pieces of content in a short form manner, causing your dopamine levels to be severely reduced. And I personally found that whenever our dopamine levels are severely reduced, we actually find less fulfillment in our own lives, thus making it feel a lot more stale and boring than what it used to. Because think about it, when we were kids, the most blissful time of our lives, and we didn't even realize it. We would go outside a lot, play in the sun, and we'd be with our friends. We were a lot more social, especially as children, which is crazy to think about, and it's all because we didn't have social media. Social media has been a great thing in terms of reaching information and ideas and growing businesses, but it has been horrible in terms of our dopamine regulation, in terms of us feeling fulfilled, because not only are we too busy scrolling and not living, but also we're living a vicarious nature through other people's lives. Here's the truth, guys. Life is happening. You're just not realizing it. And I think the vicarious nature of social media, watching somebody else live their life and you experiencing it from a behind the scenes view, wanting to be like them. In some ways, it could be inspirational, but also from a holistic viewpoint, it could actually be detrimental in terms of, once again, our life satisfaction, how we feel about our own routines and lives, because it's nonstop, constant comparison. Now, I mentioned this before, but social media is purely just a highlight reel. People are not gonna show you their struggles. They're not gonna talk about their mental health unless they're very, very vulnerable, which is very, very rare. For the most part, they're gonna show you all the good things. I've seen cases where even relationships, the couple, they look happy, they're always posing, but then they end up breaking up 2 months later. You know why? Because the whole entire time there was underlying issues of that relationship, or maybe even just their own mental health, but that was never shared. They wanted to actually curate a specific message to whoever was following them, and you guys compared your own relationships to them, thinking that it should be exactly like that. Listen, that's not always the case, and once again, we have to start living. So put your phone down, take some time to walk outside, meditate, get some fresh air, actually put yourself in the environment to be able to appreciate your own life for where you are right now. Because once again, life is happening, you're just not realizing it because you're not present. Also, check your screen time. I actually encourage you to do it. I was actually kind of blown away by how long I spent on my phone, which seems not like a long time because I'm mostly consuming long form. If you are, I would say above 5 hours a day, then yeah, we need to cut that in half. At least a third. Start off with taking it small, and then over time, you'll start to find, wow, I'm actually enjoying the walk I'm on, or I'm actually starting to enjoy my life more, and I have more gratitude towards the things that I really didn't appreciate before. And that's because you were constantly comparing the whole entire time. Maybe your life isn't even boring though. Maybe your life is pretty exciting, but you're comparing it to really curated, fake, exciting lives that are meant to be posted to entertain you. So take a look in your life right now, put down the phone, and you might notice a difference. Now, we talked about why your life is probably boring, but here's how you can take actual steps to change it. First off, we gotta get out the house. Go to an event at least one time a week. It doesn't have to be paid, it can be cheap, it can be even free. Just get outside the house and start living. Start having those new experiences. It can be activities, hobbies, even something you actually like to do that you probably did before. Try to do it at least once a week. Me personally, I like to get out the house, and more recently I've been going to the cigar lounge. I'm not a big cigar smoker, but for some reason, that experience in itself just kind of brings me fulfillment. It might be the atmosphere, it might be a few reasons, but also I believe your life setup and where you decide to live is also very important. Living in winter of Minnesota or in Europe, especially Germany. I went to Germany during the winter time. I was like, okay, now I see why people are depressed. The sun doesn't shine at all. But now, living in Florida, we got some sunlight even during the winter time. All these little aspects of your life setup can also make a major effect in terms of your fulfillment and your happiness overall. It does actually make a big difference. But biggest thing here is go to some sort of event or new experience at least one time a week. Another platform that I like to use too is called Eventbrite, or even Get Your Guide, where you can find certain events and activities that are going on in your particular city, and it's always being updated. And if you are a guy who's dating, you can take your significant other, which is also going to be pretty fulfilling for your relationship, because let's be real, women want new experiences, and so that'll definitely help out. But even from a hobbies perspective, you can invest in learning a skill or a trade. Just pretty much give yourself a new challenge, because I've also realized alongside with not having new experiences, most people aren't challenging themselves anymore. They have no physical challenges, mental challenges, and I find that challenges kind of help give us more purpose in our own lives, thus making it more fulfilling and actually exciting. I'm actually trying to learn the one-arm handstand right now, and I kid you not, each time and each day I wake up, I'm super excited to go to the gym because I'm noticing small progress each time. And this new challenge of something difficult that I have to progress in is kind of giving me a new sense of joy. It kind of reminds me back when I first started calisthenics, I went on the front lever, handstand, this skill, and I had so much to learn. But then over the course of time, I learned it all and it got stale again. Everything felt boring. I actually didn't want to go to the gym. I was not looking forward to training calisthenics whatsoever. I tried to switch up my training style, and then I realized like weightlifting is boring too. So that led me to working out only because I felt like I had to. And that's why I love just calisthenics, because there's always a level that you can progress to. For me, right now, it's a one-arm handstand. And then once I accomplish that, it might be something else. It might be the 2-finger handstand. It might be the, 3-finger planche, something that might even seem impossible. Sure, fine, I'll work towards it. Even if it takes me 3-4 years, every single day, I'm gonna have something to look forward to. Now, like I said, not only that, but also mentally training our minds. Gaining a new skill set, trying to become more confident in a particular area. Because whenever you try to learn a new skill set, that then creates a systemized level of routines that you need to practice on a daily basis that you could also look forward to. I actually know a person who started going to an improv class. And me personally, I've always wanted to go to one. I just want to see what it's like. Like, is it actually fun? Like, is it challenging? You know, like little things like that that are new skill sets and hobbies that can really challenge yourself mentally. So that's why your life is boring, but that's how you can fix it. Shout out to BetterHelp for sponsoring the video. Remember, 10% off your first month. Use the link down below, betterhelp.com/Austin Dunham. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.